Hey guys, Jexie here. Welcome back to another video. So in today's video, I wanted to talk a little bit about how I think we need to stop focusing so much on like specific programs of recovery and start being a little bit more open-minded to the fact that every person's different and each solution is going to be different for each person. Okay, so what do I mean by that? A lot of times we hear 12-step programs as being the most popular way of doing recovery. There's a lot of times we hear about medically assisted treatment. Some people use religion or psychiatry. There's a whole bunch of different ways in which people choose to recover from addiction. And the thing is that a lot of times each of these individual methods kind of shame the other methods, right? So for example, if you're in a 12-step program, they may talk about how people tried medicine, religion, and psychiatry before and were unsuccessful, so that's why they came here. Sometimes it's a completely different thing. Sometimes you're, let's say you're at a doctor and they're prescribing you maintenance medication and they tell you to like go to a peer-to-peer program, and you go to a peer-to-peer program and then they tell you, you're not welcome here, you're taking maintenance medication. Like, what's the matter with you? So there's so much mixed messaging in recovery. And what I think we really need to focus on is the fact that not every person's recovery is going to be the same. Even within a program, you may see people do things completely different. And I think the problem is that too often we look at one way as better than the other, or one way as being more right than the other. And that's just not true. So often we see people recover in all these different ways, and the fact is that just because something works for me doesn't mean it's going to work for you, and vice versa. I do apologize for like the camera quality, lighting. I'm still getting used to like which camera is better to use, what type of lighting is good, so I apologize for any of the mess on that. But look, the fact is that every person's experience is different. And we don't all have to agree. There are a lot of people within our recovery community on YouTube that I don't agree with, that we have very different views on things. But that doesn't mean I think they're wrong, right? It just means we view things differently. And I think the more open-minded we are, like, how great is it to go on YouTube, watch recovery channels, hear this person's experience and this person's experience and that person's experience, and then realizing that when you need to enter recovery, you can take bits and pieces of what worked for other people and apply it to your own program. You don't have to choose to follow one way. And it is a very black and white way of looking at recovery. And a lot of it, a lot of it is because of 12-step programs, because originally they didn't have anything to help people with addiction, specifically alcoholics, right? Because that's kind of how all of this started, was alcoholics. There was nothing to help people with an alcohol problem. There was no program, there was no treatment, there was no anything until Alcoholics Anonymous came. And AA started to be successful because people could recognize like where their behaviors were off, how to get better, have support, right? And it was successful. And it was successful for a lot of people. And so then, from there came Narcotics Anonymous. But since then, we have a lot more science on addiction. There's a lot more peer-reviewed studies and journal articles and medical research that's been done. And so we don't have to look at addiction so one-sided like we originally did. And the reason we had to look at it that way was because nobody was doing any research on it. Nobody talked about it. It wasn't like, it wasn't even in the conversation. But that's not how it is today. Today, addiction is the conversation, right? Like different types of recovery are what people are talking about on a regular basis, which is amazing, right? The more information that we have, the more options people have for recovery. And I'm getting really tired of seeing the judgment and the people saying, well, you don't believe addiction is a disease, so whatever you think about recovery must be wrong. Or you don't do a 12-step program, so you don't know what you're talking about. Or you do a 12-step program, so you don't know what you're talking about. The fact is that we need to find what works for us. It's important that we find the way that works for us. And so like for me, I would never look at somebody who's like, I found God and I got clean. That wouldn't work for me, but that doesn't mean it didn't work for them, right? And I think we need to be a whole lot more open-minded to the ideas that like every person's recovery is different and we can learn from each other. Perhaps there's something another person is doing that can help me, even if I don't believe in everything they're doing. And, we need to be more accepting of the fact that other people have different ideas and it's okay. I've talked to a lot of people, other creators on the phone, and a lot of people are very nervous about stepping out and saying what they believe because their beliefs are against the norm. And I think that's wrong, right? Like, I don't think people should be afraid to speak their minds because their ideas are different than what the norm is considered, right? We need different ideas. That's how we learn. And so there are people who call me and share like, hey, what do you think of this? And I can say like, well, I don't really agree, but like, good for you for sharing how you feel. That needs to be our perspective. We need to allow people to have different ideas. We can't make people feel bad. There's too much shame and judgment in recovery from outside the community and then from inside the community. And it's something I'm not okay with. So if you have a difference of opinion than me on anything I talk about on my channel, like let me know in the comments. I love having conversations. Read through my comment sections and you'll see there are times where people don't agree with me. I don't get mean to them with them. I don't say nasty things. I try to have a conversation. Let's talk about it. So let me know what you think. Here's the question for the comments. What is one thing that you feel is the most judged in recovery, or something you feel you're judged on in recovery? Let me know what you think. Let's talk about it. Let's have an open dialogue. And yeah, if you're not subscribed to my channel, please do. It helps me so much. We are so close to 1,000 subscribers, which will allow me to live stream from my phone. It'll allow me to do like a whole lot more things. Starting Wednesday, we're going to get back into weekly trivia. My Patreon's up. There's a lot more stuff posted there. I'm way more active. I've also been way more active in my Discord. If you want to join that, that's free. That's in the description. So yeah, I'm really excited to continue with this channel. I have a lot of exciting things coming up and I look forward to hearing your thoughts. Have a great day, everyone. Bye.